recognized symbol of excellence for your entertainment.
I can't hear anybody that sounds like us.
I don't hear that much Aerosmith as other people do. Aerosmith to me is really definitive.
Hello, St. Louis!
That's Springfield, Stephen.
Oh, yeah, right.
Aerosmith are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Aerosmith!
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 Aerosmith! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! You're worthy, you're worthy. Get up.
Welcome to Machino Music, the show that puts music in Machino Music, with your host, me, Brett Strong. Today on Machino Music, we're talking all about Aerosmith. Walk this way. Good afternoon, everybody. Aerosmith. Yes, I've done an Aerosmith top 10 songs. I just want to do another show about Aerosmith. Actually, this is going to be an Aerosmith album ranking, but there's a few albums that I don't have that I really want to include, which I'll talk about in like how many will find good copies of all of these albums. So I guess I will do an Aerosmith album ranking one of these days.
One of these days!
But right now we're just going to keep it as just a discussion, because I'm just going to go in order here of albums, but just in order of the albums that I don't have physical copies to show. I don't have the second album, Get Your Wings. I'm trying to find a good CD copy of this. They're like pretty expensive, like a bit more than I really want to spend like on a CD. Especially like used, whatever. I don't know. I saw an LP of a vinyl of Get Your Wings, which was like $40, and it was not in great shape. It's not in good shape. I should be able to get that thing for like $10. Less than that. But very sought after. It's a classic album. Get Your Wings is so good. Also, I don't have a physical copy of Draw the Line, one of my favorite Aerosmith albums. That title track is so good. I love that. Just dig that. So yeah, I really want a good physical copy of that one. And also some of the later albums. I don't have a physical copy of Night in the Ruts, 1979. This was kind of like the end of, like when they were really at the height of their drug problems. Like they were almost done. They did a greatest hits, really classic greatest hits compilation right after this. But they were a mess at this time, which a lot of people think that's the best version of Aerosmith. We'll get more into that as we get into the discussion. But yeah, some great tunes on here. I mean, Bone to Bone, Coney Island Whitefish Boy. Whoa, what a song. So yeah, I want to get a good copy of that record. And of course, some of the later albums I'm not a big fan of. 9 Lives from 1997. That's pretty, some good tunes on that. I remember seeing the music videos for Falling in Love Is So Hard on the Knees and Pink all the time. Used to look forward to seeing those on the Much Music Countdown here in Canada. Much Music, here we go again. But I used to look forward to seeing those because, at least it's something cool. It's not the same, Bryan Adams or whatever the hell Canadian content they forced upon us. Yeah. But yeah, I don't mind 9 Lives. Also, Just Push Play. It's okay. Not one of my favorites, but Then there's Honkin' on Bobo. Love that. Love that title. But their blues record, there's only like 1 or 2 original songs on it. A bunch of blues covers. And then the last album they put out, Music from Another Dimension from 2012. That's the last official album we've gotten from Aerosmith. I don't think we'll be getting another studio album. They're pretty well done at this point. But I mean, it's not bad. Some good tunes. A lot of guest stars. Kind of very typical of like your late 2000s. But, this is the albums I don't have, so that's why I'm not really going to do some album ranking. Also, I just want to talk about Aerosmith. So, let's get right into some of these albums. We're going to go in order here. This is the debut. Pretty good debut. The only thing I will say about this debut, and I've always felt this about this debut album, is it sounds a lot like all of the budget went into making Dream On sound amazing, because that's one of the best sounding songs. I mean, that's still like the definitive Aerosmith song. When you think of Aerosmith, people think of that song, Dream On. Used in movies, used in TV, used in commercials, it's a phenomenal, phenomenal song. So amazing. Even people who don't like Aerosmith love that song. It's like in their later song, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, with this Pooh Armageddon movie. That's another one. People love that song. Even if they don't like anything else by Aerosmith, they dig that too. But Dream On, such a great song. But it sounds like the budget all went into making that, because a lot of this sounds very flat. The guitars don't sound great. Now this is like an originals like CD, like probably from like the 80s. Like I got this at a thrift store. I don't remember. Like, it doesn't really say what's on it or when it could have been released. But yeah, it's just a kind of a very flat album. Mamakin was sort of like they still play that song. That's a very famous Aerosmith song. Guns N' Roses covered it. Pretty cool cover of that. But yeah, it's just like, if as a debut, it's good. I mean, I just think it sounds, the guitars aren't, because Dream On sounds so great compared to everything else on here. One Way Street I do like, though. That's a pretty cool tune. One of my favorite deep cut Aerosmith songs. But yeah, debut featuring Dream On. They want you to know. Of course, the classic Toys in the Attic. Woo! This was the one that just really blew them up. People were like, okay, I like this Aerosmith band. Yeah, the title track is great. Walk This Way, of course, so good. One of my favorite Aerosmith songs. A song I never get tired of. I can hear it I've heard it so many times, but I never get tired of that song. Everything about it. Now, I would say, I think that is, if you're going to ask me, that's just my opinion. If you're going to ask me, I think that is the greatest hard rock / heavy metal song ever written. Really. I mean, it's got everything. It's got a cool riff, got a great groove, it's got ridiculous innuendo lyrics. It's just, you can dance to it, you can headbang to it, and it just really kicked off what would become heavy metal, especially glam metal, hair metal, whatever you want to call it. Because Aerosmith, they were a gateway band. They were one of those bands like AC/DC, Van Halen, Kiss, where, they weren't, it was some of it would sound like, I guess, like heavy metal, early heavy metal, but sometimes it was just heavy enough. It was what you call hard rock. But they could get pretty metal at times, and Aerosmith was one of those bands, like, you wouldn't necessarily call a heavy metal band, more just sort of like classic hard rock. But if you got into Aerosmith, as soon as you heard Aerosmith, you're like, okay, this is pretty heavy. I dig this. And, you get into heavier bands. I mean, James Hetfield, Metallica, big Aerosmith fan. And, he's fronting Metallica, thrash metal. He was influenced by this. Especially a lot of songs, on here, like the title track, Toys in the Attic. Sweet Emotion, another song I never get tired of. So good. Dig it. Yeah. Classic album. Of course, the other real classic is Rocks. Yeah. This is just like, whoa. Most people would say this is the greatest Aerosmith album, especially of the 70s. I mean, really not a sinker in the bowl on here. Just Back in the Saddle, a classic. Last Child, Rats in the Cellar. That's like an early thrash metal song. Definitely an influence on thrash metal. Combination, one of my favorite Aerosmith songs. Great deep cut, dig that one. Sick as a Dog, good, dig it. Lickin' a Promise, yeah, great album. Rocks, so good. This is an interesting album. I just recently picked this one up. Rockin' a Hard Place. This actually has one of my all-time favorite Aerosmith songs. The song Bolivian Ragamuffin, which is just, I know it's a strange song, deep cut, but I always really liked that song. It's just Steven Tyler just singing about, just, only he could sing a song like that. It's got such a great sense of humor to it. I just dig it. He uses the Burger King jingle at the time. I love that. Jailbait, Lightning Strikes. Actually, Lightning Strikes is the only song that Brad Whitford plays on. Because this album famously didn't have the whole band. There was no Joe Perry. He was off doing the Joe Perry project, doing his and he was pretty well had it. And then Brad Whitford, I think, like right in the middle, like Steven Tyler was like out of control. He was really screwed up around this time, as legend has it. And this album took a long time to make. It's just like delays and all this. And Brad Whitford recorded his guitar parts for Lightning Strikes and then was like, yeah, garbage it. Getting the hell out of here. So yeah, that's the only song. Then, get other players on here. And Jimmy Crespo filling in for Joe Perry. So really, it's just who are the players on here? I think it's just yeah, we only have Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, and Steven Tyler. Those are the only original members. You have Rick Dufay and Jimmy Crespo. Yeah. So there's even people who say this isn't even really an Aerosmith album. But it's one you see a lot. I see this album cover on tons of things. Like you said, there was a radio station here in Toronto. But had like their little, we play all the hits. We play all the same 10 songs you've heard a million times. We're gonna make sure you know. But they never play anything off this album yet. On one of their press releases, they have all these album covers. This is the one they have. So I mean, not that they'd ever play anything from this album. Although Bolivian Ragamuffin put me on that station, I'm playing that tune. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I love that song. But yeah, not a bad album. Just kind of, doesn't have your classic members. Okay, now we're going to do Done with Mirrors. Yeah, this is another one I just recently picked up. Okay, when I did my Aerosmith top 10 songs, I'd forgotten about the song that closes out this album. I mean, there's so many great tunes on this one. I forgot how great this album was. This was kind of like sort of like an early comeback album. They're just about to have the big resurgence with the Run DMC cover of Walk This Way. So this is kind of a big sort of comeback album for the major comeback. But this, when I was doing my top 10 songs, the song that closes out this album, at least on the CD versions, cassette and CD, was now on the vinyl, the song Darkness. That song, wow. I absolutely love that song. Steven Tyler playing the piano on there. Sort of ominous piano playing. Oh, woo, so good, especially starts doing the really fast part. Oh man, so good. I love that song Darkness. So I'm gonna do it right. If I don't know what to take something off of my Aerosmith. I guess I could take off Chip Away the Stone, although I love that song. But I could maybe take that off and put Darkness in its place in my top 10. Because that song's so great. I don't know. Trying to figure it out all right here. Go back in time and redo my Aerosmith top 10 song just so I can put on Darkness. But I love that song. So good. She's on Fire, Gypsy Boots, The Reason a Dog, My Fist, Your Face, so good. That's like your classic Aerosmith. They used to do songs like that, was just like have these great titles. And just like these sort of like violent songs, but they're kind of funny. They got a sense of humor to them. I just dig it. My Fist, Your Face. Let the Music Do the Talking, which was a Joe Perry project song. Kind of got some flack. Well, why are you doing a Joe Perry project? Well, Joe Perry's back in the band now, so he did a really cool song. The Joe Perry project album was great. There's some good stuff on this. So why not do one of those songs? Yeah, dig it. Shame on You. Really good album. Done with Mirrors. And they're cleaning up their act here. And actually, the title "Done with Mirrors" is supposed to mean like sort of a double entendre of like done with mirrors, done cutting up my cocaine on the mirror there.
Have you made a lot of money in your day?
Yeah. Millions.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Where is it now?
Went up my nose.
Cleaning up their act. And here was the big one, Permanent Vacation. This was the big flops flying all over the place. This is the big hits here. Permanent Vacation. I mean, really, this is a fantastic album. I mean, yeah, a lot of people kind of dump on this era of Aerosmith, like they're doing, like, bringing a lot of outside writers, whatever. The songs were still great. You still got the personality of the band. They still always sounded like Aerosmith. I mean, yeah, they had a horn section. I actually really dig the horn section. It just filled out their sound in a way that like nobody else was really doing, and nobody else could do better than Aerosmith. They just totally made it work. But yeah, I mean, so many great tunes. Heart's Done Time, kicking it off, so good. Magic Touch, Ragdoll's so good. Dude Looks Like a Lady. I mean, that was apparently written about Vince Neil. Yeah, love that. Angel, another big hit. I like Angel. A lot of people crap on that tune. I love Angel. That's a great ballad. Yeah. Title track's great. The Movie, closing it out, really cool. Yeah. Great. Love Permanent Vacation. This might be my favorite Aerosmith album. I always say, Pump. Pump is so good. And this is another one, just massive. 1989. I mean, it's like, wow, so good. Love in an Elevator, another big hit. Monkey on My Back, which is my favorite Aerosmith song, I would say. I love that song. I mean, it's a drug song, but wanting to get the monkey off your back, of like, you're always carrying this around. But to me, it's always kind of like, it can be kind of any metaphorical monkey you're trying to get off your back. But yeah, I dig it. I love that song, Monkey on My Back. Got monkey sounds on it, great. Janie's Got a Gun. Steven Tyler's vocals, I always dug his vocals on that tune. So good. The Other Side, great. Voodoo Medicine Man, such an underrated song. Great deep cut. What It Takes, yeah, dig it. And what's cool about this is they do kind of these kind of intros. Like it's like For Love in an Elevator, it's like Going Down, 3.1. And then Love in an Elevator is 3.2. So each song kind of has these intros to it, which is pretty cool. Or most of them do. But yeah. Dig it. Pump. This was another huge one. Get a Grip. I mean, this is another one. I love this. This is like Wayne's World era Aerosmith. Well, that really helped me get into Aerosmith was Wayne's World. I was a big Saturday Night Live fan. Of course, Wayne's World, that was their band, was Aerosmith. They did the theme song to the Wayne's World movie. But Eat the Rich, love that riff. Joe Perry, the king of riffs. Some of the greatest riffs ever were written, composed, played by Joe Perry. Dig it. Love it. Love the title track. Get a Grip. So good. Shut Up and Dance. Yeah. Living on the Edge. Okay. I would want to talk. Yellow Jackets. I've talked about this before. One of my Yellow Jackets is my all-time favorite shows now. I mean, I'm obsessed with this show. Just keep burping it up. Every episode's a spicy meatball. Can't keep it down. But I guess I'm trying not to spoil it if you're ever gonna watch this series and then you all, oh, this son of a bitch ruined the show for me. But the season 3, which just ended, they use Living on the Edge, and it's like so satisfying. It's like one of the great music cues, one of my personal favorite music cues in any movie, TV show. I just love how it was used. So yeah, it's so great. Because the producers of that show are big Aerosmith fans. So they wanted to use an Aerosmith tune and wanted to use that one because it's set in the 90s, so you got to use a 90s era Aerosmith song. Although there's a few from the 80s and even the 70s they could use on the show, but since it's set in the 90s, they wanted to keep to that 90s big, huge era of Aerosmith. And, yeah. Oh, Living on the Edge, so good. Crying. Crazy, amazing. Line Up is one of my favorite Aerosmith songs, used in another one of my favorite music cues in a movie. Using Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, when he's trying to find the missing stone in the Super Bowl ring. Love it. Love it. They got in a lot of trouble from animal rights people, too. Like, what? I can't believe you put a nipple ring in the cow udder. How dare you? It's fake. It's fake. They didn't really do it. It's a great visual. It's ridiculous. It's considered one of the worst album covers ever. And yeah, it is pretty bad. And it's so... And the animal's also branded with the Aerosmith logo. How dare you? But, I don't know. It's so typical of this band. Great sense of humor. Controversy creates cash. Eric Bischoff quote. We say that a lot here. It all comes back to wrestling. But yeah. And I want to close out here with, I mean, I used to listen to the hell out of this. The Big Ones compilation. I mean, this was big. This was all over the place. Commercials for this all the time, and I just, yeah, this is what really got me into Aerosmith. They did a couple new songs for this. Walk on Water, one of my favorite Aerosmith songs. Love that. Such a great tune. Blind Man's another one I really like. And then, of course, it was like all the hit songs, like Greatest Hits Volume 2, but all the songs from like Permanent Vacation and, you know, the Get a Grip, like those albums. Compilation, but it's just so good. And a sumo wrestler on the back. Love the sense of humor. Yeah. I used to listen to the hell out of this. I mean, it was just really helped me get into Aerosmith, especially this era of Aerosmith. And again, I know a lot of people dump on this era because, you know, they brought in all these outside writers and like Desmond Child. But Desmond Child's a great songwriter. The guy wrote with everybody. He got these big hits for these bands. I mean, like Alice Cooper wanted to work with Desmond Child because he was hearing, oh, who's this guy that's working with Aerosmith? Who's this guy that's working with Bon Jovi? Who's this guy working with Kiss? He's like, oh, Desmond Child. And Paul Stanley was the same way. He kept hearing Desmond Child. This guy's a great songwriter. And is a fantastic songwriter. So, you know, I mean, it's a lot of debate now, like, oh, there's too many, nobody actually writes their own songs. Look, it started in the 90s. Getting a little rant here. But it started in the 90s of this whole thing of, like, you want a hit? Yeah, we know you can write songs. We know you can write your own songs. But you really want a hit? Work with this guy. Work with this person. Work with this woman. You know, they bring in these other songwriters. And it started kind of in the 90s where like it was guaranteed you're going to get a hit. And just now it's kind of like really convoluted, really confusing. It's like who actually writes what. But, you know, it's like the thing I say, like just shut up and enjoy the music. Because there's some great stuff. If you think too much about it, if you take it too seriously, if you're taking it too seriously, you're doing it wrong. Okay? Yeah, this era of Aerosmith often kind of crapped on, but it's still, you know, there's some great stuff there. And, yeah, I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. I mean, I just like these albums, just trying to fill out my Aerosmith collection. I mean, there's still some I might kind of pass over, like kind of the later ones, like Nine Lives, Just Push Play, Music from Another Dimension, especially Honkin' on Bobo. I don't think I'll be getting caught. But, you know, I'm going to, you know, try to get those, fill in those gaps in my Aerosmith collection, and I will do an Aerosmith album ranking one of these days.
One of these days!
But I just wanted to have another Aerosmith discussion to talk about this great band. Again, gateway band. They just like get you into all these other, and then you just always come back to this great band. So here you go. Aerosmith, Steven Tyler and Company, Joe Perry. Love it. So I'm a big Aerosmith fan, and if you're a fan, I hope you enjoyed this. That's it for this week. Until we meet again, this is Brett Strong saying good journey.